What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the KC Sports Report. My name is Colton Kinnan, and I'm new on the channel, but I'm excited to get going. And today, I'm going to bring you some overreactions from the Cincinnati Bengals versus Kansas City Chiefs Week 2 matchup, where the Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Chiefs 25-26. Now, this is Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes' sixth-time meeting, since both have been starters in the NFL, and each matchup have been decided by 3 or less points. So here are 3 overreactions from the Week 2 matchup. Now, the first overreaction I'm going to talk about that I saw a lot online, actually, is that the Chiefs should be worried about Isaiah Pacheco's injury. And yes, that will be a big blow for the Chiefs, as Pacheco brings a lot of production in the run game and in the pass game. But I don't think the Chiefs need to be too worried about it, considering that their next couple of matchups, I think the Chiefs are favored in most of them. So the Chiefs go to Atlanta next Sunday against the Falcons, and then they have the Chargers in LA, then they have the Saints at Arrowhead, and then they go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Now, that is depending on how many games Pacheco misses. He's projected to miss at least 4 games on the IR, might even miss more. But I don't think the Chiefs have to be worried. I think their main concern needs to be Isaiah Pacheco in the pass game and what they'll miss from him there. So we saw a lot of yesterday where Patrick Mahomes really got flustered in the pocket, had to dump it off to Pacheco. So I think that will be their biggest concern heading on. But we saw some production from Steele from the Chiefs. Obviously, he had that fumble, but the Chiefs trusted enough to go right back to him towards the end of the game. They had to get Harrison Butker into field goal range, and they gave him the ball right around the 45-yard line to get Harrison Butker inside his field goal range, and it did work. So I think the Chiefs don't need to be too worried about Pacheco, as you have all those other options, but the only bad side is the loss of Hollywood Brown. He won't be there for the rest of the season. Now Pacheco goes down. Hopefully the Chiefs can stay healthy and continue their winning. I mean, they're 2-0, 2 really good games, 2 hard opponents. Both Bengals and Ravens are 0-2, but I think both teams are better than their record shows. But Pacheco being out, it does hurt the Chiefs, and I do think they will have to rely on Mahomes more, but I don't think that the Chiefs need to be worried. I think they'll go into Atlanta next week without Pacheco, and I still think they'll get the W. The Falcons play tonight. I don't know how they're going to look against the Eagles, but they didn't look that great against the Steelers. Now, the Steelers' defense is really good, but I think the KC defense is one of the best in the league, and I think they can stop Kirk Cousins as well. So that'll be an interesting matchup. The Saints and Chargers, though. Chargers, I don't think are too good compared to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs should be fine, even though it is on the road in LA. That'll be their first divisional matchup, so it will definitely be a big one. But once again, I don't think the Chiefs will have to worry without Pacheco. And then the only thing I would worry about is the 49ers, but the 49ers don't have their star running back either. They don't have Christian McCaffrey, so it'll kind of be an even match, I think, on the run game. But I think the production from Steele, and I think he can get involved in the passing game as well. He had 2 catches last night, and Pirine also had a catch yesterday. So I don't think they'll obviously miss Pacheco's run game. They'll miss where he can just lower his shoulder, his explosiveness, but I do think the Chiefs will be okay in the next couple of games. Now, the second overreaction that I'm going to talk about is how the Chiefs haven't got Kelce involved too much. What has happened to Travis Kelce? Is he old? Is he aging? Is he too old now? I'm seeing a lot of overreactions online about that, and I think Chiefs fans just need to take a step back and look out pretty much the last couple of seasons. Mahomes likes to find a receiver each game, and he likes to target him. There was over 8 players last night and yesterday's matchup against the Bengals who caught a pass. Rashee Rice did very good, 5 receptions for 75 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce, only 1 catch, and he had 3 targets, only 7 targets on the whole season. He has 4 catches on the season. So I think once Mahomes and Kelce get that connection a little better, I mean, obviously they've played with each other the last couple of seasons, but as the year goes on, their connection will be better. And I think we'll see a Travis Kelce breakout game in a couple of games, honestly. Pacheco will be out, so I would look towards the Falcons game, maybe the Chargers game, to see one of those Kelce masterpieces. I mean, you look at every Chargers-Chiefs game in the past couple of seasons, and Kelce finds a way to get in the end zone at least 2 or 3 times every game. They haven't really been able to stop him. Obviously, they have a new coach, and I don't think the Chargers defense is that good either. So they obviously have Derwin James, but we've seen Kelce torch the Chargers the last couple of seasons. So I think Chiefs fans need to take a deep breath, take a step back, and you're going to get what you always get from Travis Kelce, especially when it matters the most. I mean, we saw it from Xavier Worthy in week 1. He had 2 touchdowns, but yesterday only 2 catches. So I don't think it's that big of a deal right now that Travis Kelce hasn't been too involved in the passing game. I do think it is important for Mahomes to try and find Kelce in the next couple of games, get his confidence up, make sure that defenses know that threat is there. And I think the defense knows that the threat is there. I think it's the fans overreacting that Kelce maybe hasn't got any targets. I mean, that catch, it was obviously a pretty basic catch, only 4 yards. But another reason he couldn't find Kelce was the Chiefs' left tackle didn't play that well. We saw Hendrickson in the backfield almost every drop back on Mahomes. He finished with 2 sacks. He had multiple times where he drew a penalty, and that caused the Chiefs to maybe get a 10-yard. Like in the late fourth quarter, there was a illegal hands to the face on Hendrickson, so that made the Chiefs go back 10 yards. So I think the pressure, if the Chiefs can sort out the pressure on the offensive line and keep Mahomes safe, he'll have more time to find Kelce, because what we always see from Kelce and Mahomes is they run best whenever Kelce can run around the field, get open, run a hot route. So I do think that is a little of an overreaction that Kelce needs to get more involved right away. Yes, it would be great, but the Chiefs are 2-0. So I mean, don't fix what's not broken, if you ask me. Yes, it'd be nice for Kelce's production to go up, but the Chiefs are 2-0. Now, the third overreaction I'm going to talk about that I actually saw online a couple of times that surprised me, and yes, that might be these overreaction might be from the average NFL fan, but is that Mahomes is the biggest hole in the game plan against good teams. And I just think that's ridiculous. Players have said it, that Mahomes gets a little too greedy. There's fans that say it. But is it really not worth the risk when we've seen the plays Mahomes can make? Yes, he threw 2 interceptions yesterday, almost 3. One of them got called back. But one of those interceptions was just an amazing play. It was a one-handed interception. You can't do too much about it. That was just an amazing play. But the other interception that was in the second quarter, yes, was a little shaky. But I don't think Mahomes has to be worried at all. A lot of his passes he did incomplete was whenever a lot of his passes that were incomplete were because of the pressure that the Bengals had on him. So I think once the offensive line, like I said, goes ahead and gets a little steady, protects Mahomes a little more, he'll have a lot more time. And you see Mahomes Magic all the time. He's the reason that the Chiefs convert those 3rd and longs, 4th and longs in those tight games. And we saw it yesterday before on that 3rd and long the 3rd down that got called back. He found Kelce on the hot route. It did get called back because of the hands to the face, but that's what I was talking about even earlier. Kelce loves to run around the hot routes. Mahomes loves to run around in the pocket, find his guy, find his receiver, and you have speed all over the field for the Chiefs. Hollywood Brown, he's not going to be out there. Don't have Pacheco for a while, but you still have Juju Smith-Schuster, you have Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy. And I think Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice are 2 of the fastest players in the NFL, so once you get them to get a little bit confident, Xavier Worthy get a couple more games under his foot, Mahomes will be able to make that magic from the backfield. You'll see him scrambling around, and in a couple of games, don't be surprised when you see vintage Mahomes making those 3rd and longs, 4th and long plays that they need in the end of the game. So I don't think Mahomes being the biggest hole in the game plan, I just think that's a horrible take. He's the reason that the Chiefs are going to win those big games. And like I said, it's way worth the risk for the reward, because Mahomes 8 times out of 10 will make those plays. And yes, some of those interceptions will be costly, but at the end of the day, most of the time they're going to win the game. The Chiefs, obviously, those 2 interceptions, like I said, one was a little shaky, but the other one was a great play. But this Chiefs still won. Mahomes got them in great field position on the last drive of the game to set up Harrison Butker's kick. So I think that is one of the worst overreactions I've seen online, and I would take Mahomes over any quarterback in the NFL on a 2-minute drill, and love him or hate him, I think any NFL fan would. So that is probably the biggest overreaction I saw online, but those are my 3 overreactions from the Kansas City Chiefs Week 2 victory over the Bengals, and we'll have more overreactions next Monday following the Atlanta Falcons versus Kansas City Chiefs Week 3 matchup on Sunday Night Football. Thank you for listening to the KC Sports Report.